Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Lisa Renee TV. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so today before you leave. Make sure to thumbs up the video and to share on all your social media networks that you happen to be on. Hey, welcome back, guys. For all my new people, if you are new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you decided to join us today. You have just immersed yourself in one of the coolest, hippest channels around. Yes, honey. One of the dopest, baddest chicks on YouTube. Yes. Miss Lisa Renee herself. I'm glad that you guys decided to join us today. So make sure you hit the subscribe button today before you leave. If you do like what you see and become a part of the Flavor Crew. Yes. All right. So let's jump right into it. And happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to everybody. I hope everybody's Sunday is going pretty smooth, pretty swell so far. It's nice and hot here in Chicago. So I hope it's nice and hot where you are too, rather than cold. Hope it's not cold or rainy where anyone is. But God is good regardless, right? So let's jump right into this video today. All right. So this topic came to me a little bit earlier today. It kind of came out of nowhere. And it was something I guess I thought about maybe some time ago, but now it's just coming back to me. So insecurity, and more so not just insecurity in general, but insecurity within the body of Christ. So those of you who have maybe had that struggle to fit in, it sort of continues even once you get all cozy with Christ, so to speak. You know, like when you rekindle your relationship with Him, and you get back into church and you're going, you've been going for a while, and everything is swelled there, it's going good, and you know, you're like, oh, my life has changed, and I've noticed just a lot of growth, you know, self growth in me and you know my family and everything is great there. I've gotten closer with members that I hadn't even talked to in years. So like, okay, you know, there's a lot of progression, right, within your life. But for some reason, you're still having this sort of like sense of insecurity that you're noticing within yourself when it comes to whether you're at church or maybe certain events that you may go to, certain spiritual or religious events that you go to, and just trying to figure out like where you exactly fit in. You know, as far as like, especially if you're new to a church, like you just switch churches, either you just, you know, happen to leave a church, or God like placed you at a church, like I want you to leave this particular church and go here. So a lot of times you will get this insecurity when this happens, because first of all, maybe you weren't even expecting God to ask you to move to this particular new church, and then when you get there, unless you get there and everything is perfect, which a lot of times is not, you know, you will feel like, okay, God, are you sure you want me to be here? Like here, up in this place? Nobody likes me. You know, I try to join the women's ministry. I try to join the choir or the usher board, whatever it was. I can't seem to get along with anybody. Like I put out ideas, different ideas. Everybody shoots them down. Nobody want to hear what I got to say. Like I feel like I'm not listened to, or I feel like I get snide looks from certain members in the church, or you know, like I just don't feel like I fit in general, or I feel like I'm ignored in like there's a clique for everything. Like every group has their own little clique. It's like being in high school again, where everybody has their little clique, their group, their crew, and you like, I'm not in either of them. Like I'm just over here a loner, you know. Like nobody is really paying me any mind, you know. And you just starting to wonder, like, am I even supposed to be in this place? And you wonder, do you want to continue your membership there in that particular environment? Because maybe you like it there, you like the preacher, you like the teachings there, and you feel like you feel God there in that environment, and you don't want to leave. But then again, you like, I'm just so uncomfortable around the people, and you know, and trying to fit in. You know, I don't know if I really want to be in this kind of chaotic. It's like emotionally chaotic for you, you know, and socially chaotic too. So you like, I don't really know, because God is stirring up some bad feelings in me, and I don't know if I can take it. So a lot of people have experienced that that sort of feeling. You know, I know for me personally, the church I'm at now, when me and my mom started going there, like the church we were at previously, I remember when we started going to that church, I was 18 years old, and my grandfather passed away, and that's why we came back to the church. We came back. Well, I'm saying come back to. For me, it was my first time there. My mom, and the rest of my family, my aunts, my uncle, my grandma, they were coming back to that church because they were there when my mom and my aunts were little kids, and my grandfather was just starting out as a minister. I think he was ordained by that pastor of that church, so they had history there. They knew the family, the first family and everything, and they knew a lot of members there. So for them, it was deja vu. For me, I was in a new place, and so I came back there. I was 18 at the time when this happened. And so, I was feeling like, yeah, trying to find my footing. I was also still grieving my grandfather's passing. So I think my focus was just in every place. So I wasn't necessarily focused on like being secure, but, it settled in maybe slightly. I think I just felt like, I guess less insecure and more so unsettled and like, I guess tossed about. I feel like, ooh, I'm trying to find the right words, but I just felt like I've been. First of all, this big thing happened to me. My grandfather passed, and then now I'm in this new place, this new beginning, and I feel like my life had got flipped upside down. It's like somebody took, take a glass of milk or something, just throw it upside the wall. That's what I felt like happened to my life, at that time. So I didn't know what God was doing with my life. I didn't know what was happening. I just felt like I was being pushed and tossed about, with time and with the environment and the flow of things in life at that time with me and my family. So I was just going along with whatever. I didn't know what was going on. So, once in a new environment, we were actually welcomed by a lot of the members there. So there was a lady trying to get me in the choir, and they were like really, really they were really eager trying to get me in the choir. I declined at the time because I just wasn't there. I love singing and everything, but my head wasn't there. I'm like, no, I can't do anything right now, and. But people were pretty welcoming. Some people were. I don't think I felt clickiness until later on. Then I noticed, like, yeah, some people have their groups and everything. And so, but for the most part, like, we had met a few kids there our age, or a lot of kids there our age at the time. Of course, the membership in that church now has dwindled, greatly. But at that time, there was a lot of people there, a lot of young kids. So, yeah, they were nice, seemingly to us. It was nothing, no beef there, nothing like that, nothing crazy. And so people were like, friendly, and they waved, and but we weren't like friends. There was no best friends, no BFF. We wasn't like that. It was just like, oh hey, and that was it. So I don't know. I think for me it was different because I had my brother there with me. I had my cousin, so it was slightly different. I think I felt the clickiness later on when I noticed, like, yeah, there's certain groups where they're kind of off by themselves, and I noticed like the unacceptable behavior within that particular church. That's what part of the reason why me and my mama transitioned. Like, yeah, they're a little bit overly cliquey and kind of rude, to other members, and they don't speak to other people. They don't speak to certain people, and they just treat other people a certain kind of way. So yeah, that's when I noticed it, but not so much when I first got there. But anyway, I digress. But you get the point. Basically, of you find yourself in that situation when you first go into a church, or just in general, you could have been going to church for a while, and you like, I don't really fit in, and you're trying to figure out how to get rid of this insecurity. Also, you feel like when you come out of the world, the world is mean, nasty, tough, rude, but when you come to Christ, you feel like, oh, everything's gonna change, and it does, but you notice. My point is, you're noticing that some of the same issues, like people never change, basically. So my mom has this saying that people are people wherever you go, and I kind of hate when she says that, because I love it because it's the truth, but I hate it because it's the truth. You get what I'm saying? It's the truth that people don't really always change just because you're like in church and you feel like I'm guarded from all evil and I'm guarded from all pain and hurt. Not really. Like you going, hey, you ever heard the term church hurt? I've discussed that here on the channel. If you go a few videos back, I can't remember specifically, but you should be watching all my videos. That way you'll be on point right now. You're like, oh yeah, I remember you said that in that video. But yeah, that's where that comes from. So you're not necessarily always guarded just because, oh, I'm with Christ now. Like, people are still going to be disappointing. Okay. And that's a nice way of putting it. People are still going to be, a douchebag. Don't think, your pastor can't hurt you. A deacon can't hurt you. The women's leadership, the leader of the women's leadership ministry or whatever can't hurt you. Yes, they're capable of hurting you, but not because they're just, wretched, horrible people, but it's because they are people that they are disappointing. There's a verse in the Bible. I have to get the verse, but where God is basically saying, you should never trust, too much in people because they're as fickle as breath. Meaning, what good are they? People are as fickle as breath. What good are they? Meaning, why are you putting so much faith and confidence in how people act and who they are and all this kind of stuff and leaning so much on them? Because they're flimsy. They change more than the weather does. They change more than the minutes and the seconds on a clock. People's attitudes and change towards you like that. Tuesday, somebody be all over you like, girl, you my BFF. I love you, girl. I love you, sister. Wednesday, you come in, they can be rolling their eyes at you. You can be like, hey, girl. They be like, like you ain't said nothing. You like, I just spoke to her. She rolled her eyes and turned away like she didn't see me. Yeah, it's Wednesday now. So, I mean, she's feeling kind of different about you. Maybe Thursday y'all be friends again. I don't know. But that's how people are. They can be a little bit trippy, It's because it's based on who they are and whether Christ reigns in their world or not, or whether their relationship is, really, really tight with Christ like that, or do they have things that he needs to clean out, and it's all kind of things, all kind of variables, all kind of factors as to why they are who they are, but a lot of times about who they are. It has nothing to do with you. So, my experience, I talked about Legacy when I went to the Legacy Christian Conference last year. So I went there, and I had a great time, but I noticed like it was a lot of clickiness. So there's a lot of groups like who people came with their friends. So I don't not saying not bad. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying I noticed that a lot of people stayed with the people they came with. Now people kind of like I met some nice girls there, but we weren't like immediate BFFs. It was just like, hey, how you doing, and that was it. It was. Now we had lunch together the first day, but the second day, I think it was just hey, and that was it. Like nobody was making the effort to get to know anybody or, keep up with nobody. I haven't heard from them since. It wasn't like that. Like people just was kind of with their own little thing, And so at one point, I kind of felt really alone because I was like, wow, I'm enjoying myself, but I kind of feel alone. I met some other nice people there because God is really good. And so he's going to always take care of you. Even when you feel so alone, he's going to send, angels and all kind of awesome people around you just to make sure that you don't end up in a corner crying somewhere because you don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. Even when people fail you, he will not fail you, So it was crazy because I had a friend there who, she was there and she was working there too as a volunteer. So it's kind of hard for us to see each other. We had lunch together a couple times. I was happy because of that. But I know she couldn't hang out with me that much because she had to work. But I don't know. I thought she was going, there was an event and I wanted her to come. There was an event there, like it was a preacher, he preached a sermon there, and then there was like a poetry event. I wanted her to come with me, and then during the preacher event, like she was there, but she didn't come sit by me. And I was like, what do you do? Are you working this event or what? Like, I thought the volunteers get a chance to sit down. I'm sitting next to one. I'm like, come over here and sit with us. But, like, I don't know, she, for whatever reason, couldn't come sit by me, and she just like she was so busy. So yeah, it was kind of hurtful, and it was crazy. I'm like, what is going on, So I was grateful for the times that we did get a chance to spend together, even though she was working the event, so she couldn't really hang out too much. But I was just like, wow, So there was times where it's like I was happy to be there, but there was great moments where I'm like, okay, I want to go home, because like I don't have like any friends here, and so it can be rough. So that's the whole point when I'm making it in this video. There are just times when you start to wonder in the body of Christ, where do you fit in? what kind of person do you need to be in order to fit in. You start getting all these voices in your head, like you need to be this certain type of way. If you were more like this, these people would like you. If you were kind of like this, you would have an easier time making friends and all this other BS. And like, that's not even true. The best thing is to be who you are at the end of the day, be who Christ called you to be, and then the right people come to you at the right time. That's what it is, plain and simple. Whether you want to hear it or not, that's what it is. Like, you can't walk around trying to figure out who I need to be so this group of people, can like me. I'm like, who are they? They ain't nobody. Like, you got to be you. You got to be who you are. You got to be authentic, and then whoever is meant to be will gravitate towards you. But I always said that if there's this one person where it's like they seem to have no problem making friends. They're always the one that's like they're the loudest person in the group. They're really, really like their personality is just so bold and big and full of life. They're coming in, they're just all over everybody. So you got that, but then that person could be insecure too, and so that's just their way of trying to keep from being in pain, or they don't want people to not see them and to ignore them. And so that's just their way of dealing with it. But you may be, different. Maybe you're a quieter type of personality. Theirs is more loud and like, hey, how's everybody doing? That's just who they are, but you don't know. They could be, a lot of times they're insecure too, but they just have a better way of hiding theirs than you do. So, yeah. But I do want to leave you with a few lovely Bible verses here. I got to give you that spiritual feeding for the week because we all need a little something to get along. So the first verse is John 15 and 19. If you were of the world would love you as its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. So right there, God is giving it to you straight. Like, look, you're not in the world anymore, okay? So they don't like you. But that's okay. That's the good news, that the world don't like you. That means I am loving you. I already loved you when you was out there, but these people, don't worry about pleasing them. They're not going to ever be pleased with you, at least not anymore, because you're of me. So they're not really paying you no mind. They're paying you dust because you're God's child, so they don't really like you like that, okay? Because they see where you going, they see what you got going on, and they can't have it. So no. They're not your friends, and you don't need them, because all they're gonna do is drag you down anyway. So please let the world go. Hold on to God, and you let the world go. 2 Timothy 3 and 12. Indeed, all who desire to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted. That's just a reminder bell for you, like, yeah, you might go through some persecutions, you might go through some trials and tribulations. It's gonna happen, because you're so in love with who? Jesus. So when you're in love with him, they might come for you. And they might get you. 1 Peter 2, 19 through 21. For this is a gracious thing, when mindful of God, one endures sorrows while suffering unjustly. For what credit is it if when you sin and are beaten for it, you endure? But if when you do good and suffer for it, you endure. This is a gracious thing in the sight of God. For to this you have been called, because Christ also suffered for you, leaving you an example so that you might follow in his steps. So that basically just explains the other two verses even more so, just reminding you of why you suffer and how God had to do it himself. Well, Christ had to do it as well, and so he left that example for you and letting you know that he is standing by you when you go through these trials, when you go through these persecutions. So you're doing this so that you can endure, and so it builds strength. So when you suffer, it's different from when somebody in the world suffers who doesn't have Christ. It's a whole different ballgame. When you do it, you're building strength. It's like training camp seasons, like when somebody going to the army, they have to go through training, or somebody going to be a police officer, they have to go through training. They're going through some things. It's hard, but it makes them stronger and better. They can persevere at the end of the day. Whereas other people who are not of God, then it's a whole other thing. They suffer and they just suffer. So, kudos to you. And then Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through him that strengthens me. So that's just really to give you some encouragement. Just remember, you can do anything you want to do, including getting through a bunch of catty church members. You can survive them. Okay, you can survive cattiness because God strengthens you. And then lastly is Romans 8 and 28. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. So I love that one because that just wraps it all up in a neat bow for you, just letting you know, reminding you that everything works out for your good. And what I just said before, when you are suffering, you going through something, you feel like this is the hardest thing I ever went through, how am I going to get through? It's all for a good purpose. So if you go through something that seems kind of crazy to the outer to the world, it look like, oh man, you really going through it. You really, wow, you know, yeah, you can smile and say, I'm okay. I'm going to be all right. God is still good. And other people look at you like you crazy. And like, what you mean? God's still good. Like, you over here, you just lost your job. Like, you know, your wife just left you and, you know, you went through this, you went through that, you know, but you already know that everything is going to be fine. Like, there's something good on the other side. There's a reason why you're going through that struggle, what appears to be hell on earth. You know, it has a heavenly reward on the other side of it. So you don't have to be over here crying. You ain't got to be over here losing your mind and killing yourself and all this kind of stuff because you know that God is too good for all that foolery. So you know, you already know God has a good purpose for you. You already know, you know, so you don't have to freak out or worry. So other people, they may worry, they may look at you crazy, wondering why you over there celebrating, but you can, you can have full confidence in God, because you know everything is going to work together for those who called according to his purpose. All right, so that's all I have for you guys today. I just want to drop by and talk about this particular topic because it did come to my mind, and I thought that it was worth discussing because I know maybe somebody out there who's experiencing this now, who has experienced this, and just kind of wants to hash out some things. So I definitely want to drop by and give some encouragement and some insight. So I want you guys to drop me a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys a little bit later on. Bye, and have a blessed Sunday and a blessed week. Bye. Love you guys.